What's going on, guys? 2020 Camaro LT1. Is it a good car? Definitely. Should you buy it? If this is a car in your price range, yes, you should. I did a video on why I think the SS1LE is the sweet spot of the Camaro lineup, and I'll put a link in the top right corner for you guys. But I had a subscriber comment, and I just want to give a shout out and say thank you for the motivation behind today's video. It is PR1 per one. And he commented, ZL1, 200 more horsepower for 20,000 more dollars. Another bang for your buck is the basic LT1. I couldn't agree more. And I set this up. I did some more looking at this car, and I kind of wanted to give people the perspective of, from me having my 1LE, the pros and cons and shortcomings of this car. I think that this is an awesome daily driver. $34,000. The LT1 with the Tremec TR6060, which is the only way I'm going to do this is I'm going to do coupe and manual only, and I'll explain here in a little bit, but I'm going to go through the build and price and kind of give a breakdown on everything. So there's a lot of information here. I'm going to make this as quick as possible, so let's go. First off, we're going to jump in and we're going to do the coupe. So let's go trims. We want the LT1 with the 6-speed manual. Okay, you see the base price $34,995, and you can see the automatic, the 10-speed automatic, which bumps it up to $36,590, which is, that's not the whole picture here. And the worst part about it is if you opt for the automatic transmission, you are going to fall victim to the gas guzzler tax, or whoever buys this car brand new is going to have to pay the gas guzzler tax, which is, I believe it's $2,400 on top of the premium. So you're going to be paying probably $4,500 on top of the asking price, just to have the automatic transmission. It's not worth it to me. The 6-speed manual has the first to fourth, the ever so dreaded first to fourth skip shift, which GM uses as a loophole to avoid the gas guzzler tax, which is genius to me, I think. And I think I bypassed mine for $10. A $10 part you just plug in line, and it bypasses the whole system. You're good to go. So let's keep going here. We're going to pick colors. There's no different colors or no specific colors for the LT1 model, which is just fine. There's plenty to pick from, and this car looks so good in so many different colors. I love it in white. I think the satin steel gray looks amazing. I bought mine in crush. The shock, I'm on the fence on. I think it looks good though. The garnet red, which is gone for the 2021, which kind of makes me sad because that is a beautiful shade of red. Red hot, it also looks good in red hot. But for the sake of today's video, we'll just leave it as white. You do have the option between the jet black or the gray, which my 1LE, I only had one option, and that was the black. So kind of have a little bit more options there. This one, we're going to be building on the lower end, just as cheap as possible. So we're going to skip all these packages. You're going to get 20-inch wheels, and I believe it is, and it doesn't tell you here, 245, 55, 20 tire. And this is for you LT1 owners. This is going to play into your wheelhouse. And looking back on it, From the tire sizes I have available, I'm kind of jealous because a 245 tire, it's great because, I mean, it does have the square stance, which, if you don't know what square stance car is, it's when the front tire is the exact same size as the rear. So that's going to give you the option to rotate your tires, and if you do burnouts, or you're gonna get excessive wear on the rear tires, you can just move the front ones to the back, keep going. Also, another big benefit to having a 245 tire is you're gonna be able to buy snow tires, and not just the fact of you'll be able to buy snow tires, because I do not have that option whatsoever, but you'll be able to pick a snow tire from pretty much every single tire manufacturer. I mean, you're going to have the entire tire market as options for you. I know nowadays pretty much 300 millimeter and up is becoming the norm, and bragging rights or whatever, yada yada. But you got to remember, even back in the F body, their Z28 and their SS, the top of the line Camaros were having a 245 tire. There's so many ways around this. You're going to have, as far as, you can have different compounds of tires. You could buy a stickier tire. You're going to have the entire tire market available, and a 245 tire is nothing to scoff at. I mean, it is plenty wide, especially for 455 horsepower. I think it's perfect. I know a lot of people will feel like that's inadequate, but I've had plenty of F bodies, and I mean, if you buy the right tire for the power, I mean, it's plenty. So we'll keep on going here. We'll go down. I will say, the brakes you're going to get, I believe it's the 4-piston. I believe they're still made by Brembo. The LT1 is going to be just the basic LT car. And I hate that word basic, because this car is so, trust me, they're not going to put 455 horsepower motor in a platform which they believe is not capable of handling it. So, I mean, the brakes, they're going to be, I believe they're still made by Brembo, and 4-piston front, and I think it's 2 in the rear. It's whatever standard with the 4-cylinder LT car. You're just getting the big old 6.2 in there. So we're going to go down. This car, like I said, this is like the Legos of Camaro. You can put, and see, I didn't even have the option to have all these splitters, second generation, or you can put a body kit on this car, or you could have the blade spoiler, and you can pick body color, or you can pretty much spec this car out to be, it can mimic my 1LE pretty close. The only thing that you're not going to be able to have available in this car is the e-diff, the tires, obviously the wheels, and the magnetic ride. Also, they don't offer the hood wrap, but I mean, like, you can't get that done for $100. You know what I mean? At any company that does any kind of vinyl graphics. I don't see anything of any. This car has a ton of accessories and options, which when I ordered my 1LE, I didn't have available. Moving into the interior, you're going to get the smaller 7-inch touchscreen infotainment, but it does have the Chevrolet Infotainment 3. So it is. I had a 2018 Malibu with the Infotainment 2, and it's not a massive upgrade, but it is a lot faster, easier to use, and it has everything you need on it. You are able to, like say, if you want to just pick the Recaro seats, you can do that. $1,600, but you have that option available to you. If you'll look here, let's enlarge this and let's see if we can't punch in. You can look at the instrument cluster. You're not going to have, you're only going to have like a tiny LCD display, and that's all right because that's all you need. As far as the analog, which you can see here, you're only going to have a fuel gauge and a temperature gauge, which is, it's everything that you need. And I mean, you don't need anything else other than what this car offers you. And after having my 1LE, I think that this car it's genius. I mean, the gas gauge and the temperature gauge are really all you look at anyways. As far as the track modes, that's the only thing that you're going to be lacking, but you do pick up an economy mode, which makes use of the Chevrolets on the LT1. They call it DOD, which stands for displacement on demand. And all that does is when the car reaches highway speeds and it senses it's hit a cruising speed, it will deactivate 4 cylinders and it will turn it into a 4-cylinder car, increasing the fuel economy. I will admit that this system has shown to have some pretty big flaws. I know that the lifters, I have heard of a bunch of cases where the lifters are collapsing and or seizing up, and that's a big problem because it has been known to break the camshafts. Or I'm not saying it can happen every time, but I'm saying in extreme cases, I have heard of it breaking camshafts, and that's a big deal because that's probably going to be a motor. And just this engine alone is about $12,000 to $13,000. So hopefully that's going to happen under warranty. If it does happen at all, I will say just keep your oil changed and follow the oil change intervals to a T. And I'm going to say something with like a Royal Purple or better oil. And that's just fine because, I mean, I was at Walmart the other day and you could pick up the 5-quart jug for like $36. And FYI, this car takes 2.5 gallons of oil with the filter. So 10 quarts, I think the specific spec is 10.1 quarts with the filter, but that's definitely going to be one of the things that I would be kind of cautious with as far as that economy mode. But other than that, the only thing you're going to be missing out on is track mode. And even if you want to take this car to a tuner or whatever down the road, you could get the throttle response and everything, which all the benefits of track mode, and you could, manually put them in your car if you absolutely had to have it. So not a big deal. All right, let's keep going here. I believe everything. Oh, the seats. I did get a chance to sit in these seats. They're not bad. Obviously the Recaros, obviously they're going to freaking grab you better. They're going to have a lot better bolstering and everything, but for a plain interior seat, they were perfectly comfortable to me. You never know until you do like a 3 to 5 hour trip on any, on any car on as far as comfort wise. But for a basic car, I thought they were great. Got pretty much what I like to call this just fluff accessories, stuff you really don't need. So coming down to the summary, $33,495. That's crazy. That's a crazy amount of car for the money. And this is gonna put you, I believe, and I heard someone even saying that they had a special going on with these cars are like $450 nothing down for qualified buyers. But I know to finance, you're talking $486 at a 0%, 72, and let's just go 5%, middle of the road. So I'd put you at $537. Even if it puts you at $550 a month, that's still a heck of a deal for how much of a car you get. I'm gonna say, I don't know if it's the package on my car or whatever, if it's that 1LE package, but they do seem to be a little bit higher to insure. Just something to note, something to check out. I would definitely call and get an insurance quote before you get real serious about it. You know what I mean? As far as the options on this car, there's things that you can put in this car that I did not have the choice of, as far as like on my 1LE. Whether they're necessary or not, or whether you're really going to benefit from them, I doubt it. If I had to spec this car out, pretty much what I would do is I would upgrade the sway bars. I would leave the brakes alone, leave it just the way it is. Obviously, I'd have the manual. I would upgrade the sway bars. I would put in the strut tower brace. And that's really it. That's all I would do. I wouldn't, and I would just daily drive the car. Run the warranty out, and if you want to modify it down the road, you could do that as well. I mean, they do have some pretty cheap wheels as far as like, if you wanted to upgrade, $800, $100, $200. That, I mean, you don't have to go crazy with as far as like the wheels do. But I mean, these 2-spoke, those things look amazing, and it's a $200 upgrade. It's just little things like that I didn't get to play with, but you can upgrade the MPP exhaust here. Let's switch over to the one that I did build, and it is $50,970, and I did not include any of the decals, any of the car cover or the cargo mats or floor mats, or I didn't do any of that. This is just the suspension upgrades and brake upgrades, all the interior upgrades. There it is right there, $14,605 in options. I mean, just those brakes, as awesome as they are, you don't need them for daily driving. You just don't. If you plan to track the car, okay, here's the deal. You could upgrade to a stickier tire, and even on the rim, you might be able to get like a 255 or a 265, depending on the tire. But still, I think those brakes are going to be a little bit overkill for the way this car is set up. The NPP exhaust, that's going to be $1,000. Is it worth it? Probably not. I mean, I leave mine in track mode all the time. Depends on if you're going to upgrade. If you're going to put headers and you're going to put an X-pipe and you're going to decat the car, I would probably get it. Because it is going to be crazy loud with those mods on there. and your neighbors will hate you otherwise, unless you live out in the country or whatever, out in a rural area by yourself. I would probably opt for the NPP exhaust if you see yourself doing that down the road. Other than that, I basically just did like heck, even the body kit, the wheels, and the brakes right there. I mean, that's $7,000. And then you throw in the Recaro seats on top of it with the Navigator. That's another $2,000. That's, oh my God, you're talking almost $10,000. With the little knickknacks like the cold air intake and everything. Like I said, you can run this car up to about $51,000 for all the necessary upgrades. And I wouldn't do it. Like I said, I would just upgrade. I would stiffen up the suspension, and that's really about it. The spoilers and the body kit and the yada yada, the wheels and stuff, that's on you. But as far as I see, that's really all this car needs. I would eventually down the road, if it were my car, I would put like a mechanical limited slip differential in it. But other than that, this car's a steal. And if you have one of these cars, let me know. I want to hear how you guys are enjoying this car. I want to know the fuel economy. I want to know what you think about the insurance rates. Whether you think the 245 tire is a wide enough tire to handle all that power. I think it is, especially with the open diff. This thing is going to be the king of one wheel peels. You know what I mean? So yeah, definitely hit me up in the comment section. Other than that, that's really all I got for this one. Thanks a lot. I hope you guys are having a great day, and we'll definitely see you guys on the next one. Later.